Kanye West is in a lot of hot water, but what's new, to be honest? The self-proclaimed genius is going through it. I don't think he's even a billionaire anymore. It all started at the beginning of this year. He was going through his divorced dad arc. Kim Kardashian was dating the human salad fingers Pete Davidson, and all of a sudden Kanye West went on a crazy like week-long rampage on Instagram, posting screenshots, photoshops, all that good stuff. The media was eating it up, kind of enabling it. He was going on a rant about Skeet Davidson, that was the nickname he gave him, and just saying some weird stuff about it. And Kim was trying to get him to stop, but he even posted those conversations about it. Eventually, Pete sent him a picture of him in his bed with his wife, and Kanye probably freaked the hell out. To be honest, anybody would. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here today to condemn the horrible things Kanye West has been doing for the past couple of weeks recently. Maybe one could say we should have been stopped enabling him in the beginning of the year when he was bothering Pete Davidson and Kim, and I will agree with that. Some of that stuff he was doing came off really abusive, and to see people hyping that type of stuff up was really tone deaf. But then again, we gotta hold accountability to Kanye West too, because he's a grown-ass man. Fast forward a couple months later, he's beefing with people at Gap because they don't want to give him full control. Him and Gap were collaborating and making clothes, and I guess Kanye wanted to be the head honcho creative influence throughout all of Gap, which if you run a business, that's impossible. You can never be the head of everything. But Kanye West, doing his Kanye best, had a full-blown meltdown all over Instagram, again attacking the people, saying that, oh, these guys are just doing this because I'm black, you know, attacking the executives, posting screenshots of the executives that are voting against his main decisions. I feel like being a grade A narcissist, you gotta expect this with him. Spilling celebrities' dirty laundry all over. It was a strange time to watch on Kanye West's Instagram as he was just posting whatever the hell was on his mind. And we chalked that up to a manic episode, but there's no more chalking. We're out of chalk. And then I think a week after that, this is when things started going really downhill. He was seen with Candace Owens at one of his fashion shows, and they were posing with a White Lives Matter t-shirt. I don't know about y'all, I don't know if you guys knew this, but Kanye West is black. I'm black too. White Lives Matter is a white supremacist talking point. It is not something people, you know, co-opted for something good. It was a white supremacist talking point. White Lives Matter was specifically made in retaliation to the Black Lives Matter movement. It wasn't made as no, oh yeah, we gotta protect our people. It was made in retaliation to us wanting to start a movement for our lives because, you know, systemic issues, you know, police brutality, stuff founded on the good old-fashioned American values. It's become more of a right-wing thing, like White Lives Matter. I'm even more surprised he didn't just do the right-wing, you know, all lives matter thing, but he full-on went full supremacist with that quote. You can tell his dumbass was probably doing that to be provocative because every time somebody questioned him about it, he didn't know what to say.
Why I wrote White Lives Matter on a shirt is because they do.
Like, oh, okay. I don't know if Candace Owens was feeding him talking points or whatever, but every interview he went on after that, he was just talking bare nonsense.
That were locked up. Do you have friends? Do you have people aborting half your race?
Kanye West strikes me as one of those individuals that sees being black as a mask. He becomes black whenever it benefits him, and then after that, he kind of just shits on the whole black community as a whole. Every time he's surrounded in those board meetings by all those white folk or whatever, he starts talking about how they don't care about black men with mental illness. They're harassing a black man with mental illness. He did the same thing with Pete Davidson. He does the same things with the Gap executives. He does those same things anytime someone who's white critiques him. It's always him being a black man with mental illness, and they're taking advantage of him, and they're trying to shut him up. They're trying to shut him up like they did in the slave days. He always says those same weird things. Whenever a black person opposes him, he doesn't have a problem like ruthlessly bullying them or trying to put them down or whatever. He basically cannot handle criticism. He's essentially in his own echo chamber of delusion and narcissism. That's why I feel like he's kind of been detrimental to the black community. Even when he went on to Who Can Jive for Trump. Remember the Red Hat saga, guys? That was crazy. And people still found ways to defend him, which is insane to me. And now you see Kanye West basically being the mascot for all right-wing black guys everywhere. And honestly, I just think he's Candace Owens' fucking sock puppet because nothing he says is really original. It's all white supremacist talking points. Oh yeah, blacks need to stop killing each other. You know, we're inherently, you know, ingrained with violence. We just gotta pick ourselves up by the bootstraps. You know, I don't talk to people that's broker than me. I don't do this, I don't do that. It's just nonsense. It's capitalist garbage. And I don't even believe this motherfucker believes it himself. Now we're gonna get into the anti-Semitism, guys. Yes, there's more. He made one tweet that said, I'm a bit sleepy tonight, but when I wake up, I'm going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people. Funny thing is, I can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew. Also, you guys have toyed with me and tried to blackball anyone who ever opposes your agenda. Yeah, whatever the fuck that means. He said, I'm a bit sleepy tonight. Like, you in a fucking nightgown? What are you, Ebenezer Scrooge? Why'd you say it like that? Yeah, that was super anti-Semitic. But then, don't worry guys, he said, I actually can't be anti-Semitic because black people are actually Jew. So Kanye West is in his kind of Hotep era. It's so funny that you have to reiterate that you can't be anti-Semitic, because I'm pretty sure he acknowledged whatever he said was anti-Semitic. So he had to say, well, I'm Jewish, so you can't get to me, bye. And that's basically his whole fucking thing. And black people being the original Israelites is a common talking point between the Hotep, you know, Aragani brother, superimposed black power groups. I feel like this is one of the many ways white supremacy can really just dive deep into black culture, and how we can be so deep into our ignorance that we cannot recognize when something is obviously like an oppressive dog whistle. And like clockwork, you have Kanye West fans coming out in droves to defend what he was saying. Jewish people do in fact run the world. We gotta watch out for the Jews. The Jews have all the money. All that normal things people say. That's completely normal. That's not at all weird and anti-Semitic and white supremacy and oppressive as hell to say. And I find it ironic that how some of our community is dead set on defending him using dog whistles, that if you can flip it and reverse it, which it has been, to black people being inherently violent, and black people don't know anything, but we all live in the projects and all that good blah 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 stuff. It comes hand in hand. Those dog whistles come hand in hand. There are two things a lot of people are doing to defend Kanye. They're talking about freedom of speech and BLM actually being a scam. I'm gonna tackle freedom of speech first. I don't know if you guys knew this, but freedom of speech does not equal freedom from consequences. Because you can say and do whatever you want doesn't mean other people are supposed to be okay with it. It's like having that annoying friend that thinks their whole personality is like, oh yeah, I'm blunt. Yeah, that's my whole thing. I'm blunt. I'm a real friend. Like, no, you're kind of sometimes an asshole. Like, yeah, I can go clock in at Target and have a boss and manager, but I can't call my manager a dumb fucking bitch, because then I'll lose my fucking job. Isn't that crazy? But oh wait, freedom of speech. Can't I say anything? No, you can't say anything. You can't say or do anything. You're gonna always face consequences and punishment for saying and doing certain things. That's just the way the world works. I don't think freedom of speech is even a real thing. And I'm realizing a lot of these black rich male celebrities, they want to uphold values that white men before them made. Like, a lot of these black rich celebrities only dream of being in power like the white men.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nobody that gets judged more than a straight white male. The straight white male has the least amount of a platform to even speak. A straight white male can't say, my wife hurt me today, and because people will say, well, you're hurting women. A straight white male can't say, hey, a black employee didn't come in to work on time, because then people will say you're racist. A straight white male can't speak on a homosexual person because they'll say you're homophobic.
Now, those guys had freedom of speech. They can call anybody anything 100 years ago, but now they can't. So now everybody's getting their panties in a knot because they can't actively harass people. And another thing about BLM being a scam, it wasn't a scam. You guys just got scammed by an organization that tried to hip hop off of the popularity started from the Black Lives Matter movement. The movement wasn't a scam. An organization that was built around it probably was. This idea that we as a black people collectively scam people is like stupid and harmful. And it's one of those right-wing talking points they keep pulling out of their fucking ass, as if getting scammed somehow equates to, okay, I get to treat minorities of people of color like shit because this specific organization scammed other people. And please, for the love of God, let's not act like the right-wing media is completely fucking scot-free from the scam nation that they fucking do on the regular. But I digress. I don't want to be mean or an asshole, but I'm convinced some of you guys are like legitimately stupid, because we see a whole bunch of celebrities and athletes speak up about having free speech and all of that shit. I do agree there's some racial prejudice in the entertainment industry. There's racial prejudice globally, but I don't agree with the whole thing of anti-Semitism. Jews have an agenda against us, and now you have multiple companies pulling out of actually supporting him, which they should be doing. And then you have certain members of our community saying, oh, they don't do this when Kanye West was being anti-black, or when he was saying slavery was a choice. What I can say to that is Kanye West was under a lot of scrutiny when he came out with those White Lives Matter shirts. Multiple rappers came out and even tried to condemn him, and he fought back, and his fans still defended him. And Kanye West got a lot of scrutiny when he did say slavery was a choice. I don't know why you guys are pretending that whole fucking internet wasn't against him, but I feel like you guys are picking things to just defend him about, and you guys are making it some type of hidden racial agenda that the Jews are plotting against us. That's why they all attacked him. When he just said one of the worst things ever. Saying you're going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people is unironically an awful thing to say. And people defending that by saying, well, Jews do have an agenda, Jews run everything, and we as a black community have to hold accountability to ourselves, because even now there are still people actively defending Kanye West as if he said anything remotely normal for the past couple of months, and that's an insane thing to think about. When he did say slavery was a choice, a lot of people were saying, well, wait, he probably meant something different, or Kanye West has a plan, or black people are just mentally shackled. We only do the same three things, and that is a lot of talking points a lot of black Republicans use against us. Black people don't know how to do anything but rap about guns and drugs and shake our asses and be naked and play sports and do violence and shit like that. Those are a lot of right-wing talking points when it comes about critiquing the black culture. And anytime we did push back on Kanye's thing, he was shielded by his fan base. People were saying that nobody did anything when he said slavery was a choice. Everybody did something. They tried to critique him, they tried to talk to him, they tried to condemn him, and it didn't work because his fan base simply kept riding his dick. But I feel like the weight of saying that you're going DEFCON 3 on Jewish people is significantly heavier, because there is a lot of history on those types of words and usage and the idea of Jewish people being wiped out. And a lot of his fans not being able to see that is fucking weird to me. Anytime you guys want to pull out, oh yeah, well, we had to do 400 years of slavery, I want to let you guys in on something here. Come in, come closer. Yep, that's right. Come here. Two things can be right. I know, right? Anti-Semitism is bad, and so is racism.
With your accent, that me as an American, Jew, black person, that I cannot question that deaf and question the means he had. That was put on camera.
I'm not saying you
to
can't
traumatize.
Since all these businesses are dropping him, Adidas being the newest one, people saying Adidas has Nazi ties. They canceled Kanye West for being anti-Semitic. But it's crazy that they didn't cancel him when he said slavery is a choice. What the fuck are you guys talking about? Every time one of us is scrutinized in the media, no matter what they did, there are droves of people in our community that will blindly defend them no matter what. They did the same thing with fucking R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Dave Chappelle, and now Kanye West. This is not normal behavior. And you have his fans saying that he has a plan. White lives do matter. Black people are so racist. The Jews do control everything. The Jews run banks. Oh, they run the fucking world. They're the real issue, when it should be, oh, white supremacists and systemic racism and police brutality or chattel slavery or any of those things were actually the fucking issue. Now, I'm gonna talk about the black community and right-wing politics, if you guys don't mind me. There are some parts of the black community that are inherently right-wing leaning. And when I say this, I'm not trying to, say Kanye West is making more black people right-wing leaning, whatever. I'm saying the fucking truth. A lot of the black community and a lot of the people surrounding it are already right-wing leaning. Back then, during slavery, during the Jim Crow days, during segregation, we had this idea of community. We had this idea of coming together as a community, protecting one another, protecting everything that was black, protecting black rights, trying to fight for equality for everybody. And during these times, a lot of black men were scrutinized and dehumanized, which led to a lot of over-masculine presenting black men going through time and going through things because they had to show strength. And a lot of black women, again, showing strength through resolve, through perseverance, facing adversity. I'm just saying a lot of us had to be strong even if we didn't want to be. A lot of black people put their power and their fate into the hands of God. A lot of black people got super into religion and the Bible. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and argue about religion with anybody. If you guys believe in something, that's fine, that's cool, that's ripe, whatever. I'm just here to talk about these situations and what could have possibly happened to a lot of the black community and why a lot of them are alt-right leaning without fully understanding or comprehending it. But basically due to systemic reasons, after slavery was abolished and there was segregation, and we all know that there was things put in place to keep black people down. From the crack epidemic that the CIA funded, police brutality, the prison industrial complex, there was a whole bunch of things that were put in place to keep us from actually reaching our goals financially. It made it almost like a rat race for whoever got to the top. And there was a few of us that crossed the lines and got to the top. You can see a lot of right-wing leaning black men and women when they get rich.
Why do y'all hate black people who grew up with money?
Let me make one thing clear. I grew up in a $500,000 house. I went to private school. I graduated from one of the top universities in the country. My job, you couldn't get it if you wanted to. My car note is more than your rent.
Because of this one word, elitism. A lot of black people suffer with this idea of elitism, knowing that we have to work 10 times harder to be viewed as people, knowing that we have to push ourselves beyond capabilities, finally get out there, knowing that there's racial prejudices already in place in the entertainment industries, in any industry, knowing that our workforce might be dominated by mostly white cisgender people, knowing that there are so many unconscious racial biases that people already have about us, knowing that a lot of white people do not meet black people in person, and the only way of meeting black people is consuming media that's only glamorized and popularized gang violence, knowing that those are just our stories that we're telling to people, and them, only taking apart from it is that we're violent. Knowing that is why a lot of black people do suffer from right-leaning agendas. They suffer from the idea of being elitist. They suffer from the idea of, oh, the world is unfair, so I don't care how the game is played. I'm just gonna play it my way. Black people will throw other black people under the bus to get to the top. And a lot of black people had to watch as the nuclear families skyrocketed. They got their money, they lived middle class, normal, happy, carefree lives while we were struggling to survive, living check to check, getting harassed by the cops. I feel like it put a bad taste in a lot of black males' mouths. Their idea of masculinity, they couldn't get to it because they weren't white men. So a lot of black men thought that in order to be truly masculine and to be at least up there with the white man, I have to be financially free, which created this bubble of elitism within the black community, that even the black people who make slightly above average of what an average black person makes, they feel like they're better than us. Or even with the idea of religion and us being a community, a lot of black men and black women look down on people who get abortions.
50% of black deaths a year is actually abortion. It's not the cop with the knee.
Because we had this sense of community, we had this sense of family. Family was the most important thing to a lot of the black community. And for a lot of us to turn our backs to that and get abortions, it was frowned upon. Even a lot of black women that may be a little promiscuous and they sleep around, a lot of it was frowned upon. Because a lot of black women were seen to be so masculine and aggressive, a lot of black women sought out divine femininity. They wanted to be truly feminine. And the fucked up thing about Western culture back then, and even sometimes now, is this isn't our culture. Our culture isn't this, which is why a lot of black people struggle to keep up with this idea of beauty standard, the divine femininity, being masculine, being a real man, doing all of this and having a family. This isn't our culture. My grandfather was a Black Panther. One thing he always said, he always joked around with, if a lot of black people were born white, they would be Republican. A lot of people of color, they don't want to change or reform. They want a seat at the table. And the biggest example of this is Kanye West. Kanye West is now, I don't think he's a billionaire no more, but he's seen himself as somebody who had a seat at the table. A lot of men and women of color seek that idea in white validation, and they only use their black identity when that white validation tries to critique them. It's the shield. It's like, well, you guys don't want to go back to slavery where my people had to endure 400 years of this and that and oppression. I'm a black man, and they're trying to tell me that you can't do this and that for me, a black man. And they only use that as a weapon. They truly don't care about the idea of being black. They care about the idea of making money, which I guess is the whole right-wing agenda anyway. Like, a lot of Republicans are super fucking capitalist. Not saying there's no capitalist left-leaning people, but you guys know what I mean. I don't gotta explain everything to you. But Kanye West is somebody who used to be about the black community, and now I feel like he's made so much money that he's disconnected and he doesn't need anything from us anymore. So he's kind of just jumping ship. In terms of him doing all of this and all of this mess, he's lost everything. All the businesses are pulling out. He's losing his family. And I do hate the fact that people try to harp this as somebody having a bipolar manic episode. Not bipolar mania. Kanye West is not a victim with bipolar disorder. He's an abuser with bipolar disorder. I don't think he's ever gonna really face any sort of criticism or any acknowledgement of his actions, because his fan base will consistently and constantly defend him no matter what the fuck he says. And then you have some black people agreeing with him that Jewish people are ruining the world and they control everything, when in reality it's literally just white supremacy that's doing all of this. It's keeping us from actually going to that next level and trying to build a community with each other. The Jews are really in control of everything. They're controlling everything. Like, bro, that shit Hitler said. Hitler said that. Hitler said that. Do you agree with Hitler? That like, and it's so insane to me that there are people that unironically think about it. There's no such fucking thing as being silenced. You've been on every single fucking podcast, news outlet show for the past like month and a half, bro. You're not being fucking silenced. I hate this whole Republican talking point about being fucking silenced. I've been silenced. Y'all make millions and millions of dollars. Y'all have millions and millions of viewers, bro. What the fuck are you talking about being silenced? That shit doesn't exist. I swear to God, half of these right-wing motherfuckers make up a boogeyman to be scared about, just to talk about. What are you talking about being silenced? You guys are free to say whatever the fuck y'all want. This guy with the fucking BDSM straps went on to go and mock George Floyd's death and got away with it, with little to no fucking pushback. Right-wing motherfuckers are stupid. Anyways, if you guys want to see a shirtless socialist, follow me on Twitter. Okay, bye guys, I'm done ranting. Bye, have a beautiful day.